Introduction, the fear you can feel and the confidence you can build. Let's talk about that feeling. That sudden cold jolt in your stomach the moment you realize all eyes are about to be on you. Let's talk about the way your heart hammers against your ribs, so fast and so loud you're absolutely convinced that everyone in the room can hear it. Let's talk about the clammy, cold sweat on your palms and that frustrating, undeniable shake in your hands or in your knees that you just can't seem to control. Maybe for you, it's the voice. That high-pitched, thin, wobbly sound that comes out, a voice you don't even recognize as your own. Or perhaps it's the dreaded brain fog, that terrifying feeling of your carefully prepared, brilliant ideas evaporating into thin air, leaving you stranded and exposed. I want you to take a deep breath and hear me clearly. This is not a weakness. You are not broken. This is not a personal failure, and it is not a character flaw. What you are experiencing is a deeply ingrained, completely normal, and entirely universal human response. It's your body's ancient survival mechanism. It's the fight-or-flight response, an amazing system that was designed to protect you from a genuine physical threat. The problem is your brain, your ancient, powerful, protective brain, can't tell the difference between a predator in the wild and a presentation in the boardroom. It just feels exposure. It just feels risk. And so it floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to run or to fight. It's biology. It's not a choice. Every single person you admire as a natural or effortless speaker has felt this. I promise you they have. The difference is not that they lack fear. The difference is they have learned to manage it. They have learned to channel it. They have built a system. And today, I am going to teach you that system. In the next 30 minutes, we are going to walk the path from anxiety to applause. But we are not going to do it with the same old, tired platitudes you've heard a dozen times before. I am not going to waste your time with vague, useless, and frankly, insulting advice like, just be confident. If it were that easy, you would have done it already. I am not going to tell you to picture them in their underwear, a trick that only makes you feel more disconnected and strange. You've heard all that. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work because it doesn't address the root of the problem, the biological and psychological triggers of that very real fear. My promise to you is this. This video is a practical 3-part toolkit. This is not based on hacks or wishful thinking. It is based on proven scientific techniques from performance psychology, modern neuroscience, and decades of communication studies. I will give you concrete strategies to manage the anxiety long before it starts. I will provide a professional method to prepare your content that builds certainty and authority. And I will give you a set of in-the-moment tools to reclaim control of your mind and body right when you need it most. This isn't about pretending to be confident. It's about building real, durable confidence, brick by brick, with a reliable process you can trust. This is the end of winging it and just hoping for the best. This is the beginning of you having a plan. Here is the exact roadmap for our time together. I have broken this process down into 3 core sections, 3 pillars that will support your newfound confidence. First, we will master your mindset. This is the foundation. We will stop treating your anxiety as the enemy and learn how to reframe it. I will teach you how to shift your entire perspective from one of judgment and performance to one of connection and contribution. This single shift is the key to turning that jittery, nervous energy into focused, positive enthusiasm. Second, we will build your preparation plan. So much of our anxiety is rooted in uncertainty, in the what-ifs. We will replace that uncertainty with a clear, repeatable, professional-grade structure. You will learn how to build your message in a way that feels authentic to you and is crystal clear for your audience. We'll move beyond simple memorization, so you're not just reciting words, you are truly internalizing and owning your message. And third, I will give you an in-the-moment toolkit. This is the practical magic. These are the physical and mental techniques you will use in the 5 minutes before you walk on stage, or in the 30 seconds before you unmute yourself on that important video call. These are your new go-to actions to command your breathing, to anchor your body, to steady your voice, and to bring your mind into the present moment. By the end of this video, you will not only understand your fear in a new way, you will have a specific, actionable plan to manage it. You will have the tools. You will be ready to build the confidence you've always wanted. It's time to stop letting fear call the shots. Let's begin. Part 1. The Mindset Shift, from Performance to Purpose. Welcome to the most important part of our journey. This is the foundation for everything else we will build today. Because before we can learn any new techniques, before we talk about your slides or your body language, we have to dismantle the one thing that is holding you back. Let me ask you a question. When you think about giving that speech or presentation, what is the image in your mind? Is it you standing under a spotlight, needing to be flawless, polished, and perfect? Do you believe that your primary goal is to impress everyone? If you do, you have fallen into the most common and the most destructive trap in public speaking, the perfection trap. Most of our fear doesn't come from the act of speaking. It comes from the crushing pressure we put on ourselves to be a perfect, flawless, articulate performer. We treat it like an Olympic event where any tiny mistake, any or any moment we lose our place or have to check our notes is a catastrophic failure. We believe our job is to deliver a perfect, polished product and that we are being judged on our performance. This is the wrong goal. It is an impossible goal, and it is the single biggest reason you feel so much anxiety. Because when perfection is the goal, any outcome short of that feels like failure. No wonder we're terrified. So right here, right now, we are going to change the goal. We are throwing out perfection and replacing it with one single powerful word: connection. Your goal is not to be a perfect performer. Your goal is to be a person in a room with other people, sharing an idea that matters. Think about it. You are not an actor reciting lines. You are a guide. You are a teacher. You are a colleague. You are a passionate advocate. You have something valuable to say. You have information, an idea, or a story that can help, inform, or inspire the people listening to you. I want you to shift your focus. Take the spotlight off of yourself, how you look and how you sound, and place it firmly on your audience and on your message. Ask yourself, how can I help my audience understand this? What is the one thing I want them to feel or know when I'm done? How can I be of service to them? When you change your intent from I must impress them to I want to connect with them, the dynamic changes instantly. A performance is a monologue. A connection is a dialogue, even if only one person is speaking. It's an exchange of energy. You are simply closing the gap between your idea and their mind. That's it. It's not about being flawless. It's about being helpful. Now I know what you might be thinking. That's a nice thought, coach, but my body still feels terrified. My heart is still pounding. You are absolutely right. And this next tool is for your body. I want to share a fascinating piece of science with you. Researchers have studied the physiology of anxiety and excitement, and they found something remarkable. The physical symptoms, they are identical. The racing heart, the rush of adrenaline, the faster breathing, the butterflies in your stomach. That is the exact same physical response your body produces when you are highly excited, when you are anticipating something thrilling, when you're about to ride a roller coaster or go on a first date. The only difference between crippling anxiety and powerful excitement is the cognitive label you put on it. It's the story you tell yourself about the feeling. So, from this moment on, you are going to perform a tiny, powerful act of mental reframing. When you feel that jolt in your stomach, when you feel your heart start to race, you are not going to say, I am so nervous. You are not going to say, I am terrified. You are going to stop, take a breath, and say to yourself, I am excited. My body is getting ready for something important. This energy is here to help me be alert and focused. I am excited to share this message. Just by relabeling the sensation, you are not trying to calm down. That's a losing battle. You are channeling the energy. You are transforming that raw adrenaline from a threat into a tool. You're not nervous, you're energized. You're not scared, you're ready. And finally, let's talk about the people in the room, the audience. When we are in that performance trap, we look out at them and we don't see individuals. We see a single terrifying entity, a panel of judges, a firing squad. We see a sea of critical faces just waiting for us to stumble. This is a projection of our own insecurity. It is not the truth. The truth is the audience is on your side. Let me say that again, because you need to hear it. The audience wants you to succeed. They are not your enemies. They are your allies. They have taken time out of their busy day to come and listen to you. They want you to do well. They want you to give them something of value. They want the presentation to be good. Think about the last time you were in the audience. If the speaker was nervous, did you think, look at this person, I hope they fail? Of course not. You felt empathy. You rooted for them. You wanted them to find their footing. Your audience is the same. They are not there to judge you. They are there to learn from you, to be persuaded by you, to be inspired by you. See them as individuals. See them as partners in this conversation. They are on your team. They are rooting for you. So let's review our mindset shift. 1. We are done with perfection. Our new goal is connection. 2. We will relabel our anxiety. We are not nervous, we are excited and energized. And 3. The audience is not our judge. They are our allies. This is the new ground we stand on. And from this place of purpose, we are now ready to build our plan. Part 2. The preparation plan. Clarity creates confidence. In the last section, we fixed our mindset. We shifted from performance to purpose, from anxiety to excitement. But a strong mindset is only half the battle. Now we need a practical plan, because let me be honest, where does most of that what-if anxiety come from? It's the fear of the unknown. What if my mind goes completely blank? What if I forget what I'm supposed to say next? What if I get lost and look like a fool? These are fears of uncertainty, and anxiety thrives in uncertainty. It loves a vacuum. It loves when you don't have a map. So we are going to take away its power. The number one antidote to the fear of what if I forget is a clear, simple, and reliable plan. Clarity is the enemy of anxiety. Clarity creates confidence. But this is where most people make their first critical mistake. They think a plan means writing out a 20-page script and memorizing it word for painful word. I am telling you, as your coach, do not do this. Please do not memorize your speech. When you memorize a script word for word, 2 terrible things happen. First, you sound like a robot. You're no longer connecting with your audience. Remember our goal from part 1. You are just reciting data. Your focus is on your own memory, not on sharing your message with them. It's stiff, it's unnatural, and it's boring. Second, and even worse, you create a tripwire. You've built this long, fragile chain of perfect sentences. If you forget one single word, if you trip on that one wire, the whole thing collapses. Your brain panics, tries to find the missing word, and suddenly you are completely lost. You're stranded, and that brain fog we talked about rolls in. We are not going to build a fragile chain. We are going to build a rock-solid, anxiety-proof structure. I call it the 1-3-1 structure. It is simple, it is flexible, and it is impossible to forget. Here's how it works. Your entire presentation is built on just these 3 components. First, the 1 at the beginning. This is your one big idea. This is your anchor. This is your North Star. This is the single core message that you must get across to your audience. Before you write a single slide, you must be able to answer this question. If my audience only remembers one thing from my entire presentation, what is it? That's your one. You start your speech by stating this one big idea, clearly and simply. Next, the three. This is the body of your presentation. These are your three key points. These are the three pillars that support your one big idea. They can be three arguments, three stories, three examples, three pieces of data, or three steps in a process. You don't memorize the words for these points. You just know the concepts. This breaks your entire speech down from a terrifying 30-minute marathon into three short, easy sprints. You just have to get from point 1 to point 2 and from point 2 to point 3. These are your islands of safety. If you get lost, you just have to look for the next island. And finally, the second one. This is your conclusion. And it's the easiest part. You don't need to invent something new. You simply restate your one big idea from the beginning. You circle back, you land the plane, and you remind your audience of the most important takeaway they just learned. That's it. The 1-3-1. You start by telling them your one big idea. You support it with three clear points. And you end by reminding them of your one big idea. This is your map. You can't get lost because you always know where you are. You're either at the beginning on one of your 3 points or at the end. Now, how do we practice this new plan? This is the final piece of the puzzle, and I want to be very clear about this. The goal of practice is not perfection. The goal of practice is recovery. A perfect practice is fragile. It doesn't prepare you for the real world. Real-world confidence comes from knowing you can mess up and knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that you can recover. So here is your new practice assignment. I want you to practice messing up. That's right. While you are practicing out loud, which is essential, I want you to intentionally skip one of your points, or stumble over a sentence, or just stop talking. I want you to feel that little jolt of panic, that oh no moment in the safety of your own living room. And then I want you to practice what you will do next. You will not apologize. You will not panic. You will simply pause. You will take a quiet breath. You will look at your 1-3-1 map, which might be on a small note card or just in your mind. You will find your place, and you will begin again. You will practice looking for Island 2 or Island 3. When you do this, you are building resilience. You are proving to your brain that a mistake is not a catastrophe. It is just a moment. And when you know you can recover from any mistake, the fear of making a mistake, it just melts away. This is real confidence. It's not the hope that you'll be perfect. It's the knowledge that you'll be fine, even if you're not. You have your mindset. You now have your 1-3-1 plan. Next, I'm going to give you the in-the-moment tools to use right before you speak. Part 3, the in-the-moment toolkit, controlling the nerves. All right, this is it. The moment of truth. You have shifted your mindset. You are focused on connection, not perfection. You have your rock-solid 1-3-1 preparation plan, so you know come check your map. But now it's 5 minutes before you're on. The adrenaline is pumping. That excited energy we talked about, well, right now it feels an awful lot like fear again. Your heart is hammering. This is the moment. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is when you need your in-the-moment toolkit. These are not theories. These are practical, physical, and mental actions you will take right before and as you speak to take command of your body, your nerves, and your presence. The very first tool is for your nervous system. You can do this in the 5 minutes before you speak. Find a quiet corner, a hallway, or just close your eyes at your desk. I want you to breathe, but not just any breathing. We are going to use a specific, powerful technique called the 4-7-8 breath. It is incredibly simple and it is powerfully effective. Here is what you do. You are going to inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Then you will hold that breath for a count of 7. And finally, you will exhale slowly, making a quiet whoosh sound through your mouth for a count of 8. Let's just think about that. An inhale for 4, a hold for 7, and a long, slow, controlled exhale for 8. I want you to do this 3 or 4 times. This is not meditation. This is biology. The extended hold and that long, slow exhale do 2 critical things. First, it floods your brain with a fresh shot of oxygen, which helps to clear that brain fog. Second, and most importantly, it physically triggers your parasympathetic nervous system. That is your body's rest and digest system. It is the biological opposite of fight or flight. You are sending a direct physical signal to your body that you are safe and you are in control. This is the fastest way I know to hijack your body's panic response and replace it with calm. The next tool is for your brain chemistry. This one comes from social science and it works. I want you to find a private space. This could be a bathroom stall, an empty office, or a stairwell. You need 2 minutes. And for those 2 minutes, I want you to stand in a power pose. What does that mean? It means you make yourself big. Stand with your feet apart, plant your hands firmly on your hips, pull your shoulders back, and lift your chin up. Like a superhero. I know it might feel silly, but stay with me. Research has shown that standing in a high-power pose like this for just 2 minutes can measurably decrease your body's primary stress hormone, cortisol. At the same time, it increases your feelings of confidence and assertiveness. You are literally changing your body's chemistry to make you feel more powerful, more confident, and less stressed. You are physically faking it until you mentally become it. This is your new pre-game ritual. 5 minutes. A few rounds of 4, 7, 8 breathing, followed by 2 minutes in a power pose. Okay, the time has come. Your name has been called. You are walking to the front of the room, or your camera just went live. What do you do in these first 10 seconds? This is where we use the plant and pause. The very first thing you do is plant. Plant your feet. Feel them connect to the floor about shoulder width apart. This does more than just stop that nervous swaying or that shaky knee feeling. It grounds you. It anchors you. It sends a signal of stability from your feet all the way up to your brain. You are here. You are solid. You are not going to float away. You are planted. The next thing you do is pause. This is the hardest part, and it is the most powerful. Before you say a single word, before you say hello or thank you for having me, you pause. You stand there, planted, and you do nothing for 3 full seconds. It will feel like an eternity to you. But I promise you, to your audience, it will look like pure, unshakable confidence. In that 3-second pause, you are not just standing there. You are taking a calm, quiet breath. You are looking at your audience. You are making eye contact. You are owning the space and the moment before you even begin. You are not rushing in to fill the silence, which signals panic. You are letting the silence serve you. You are in control. Plant. Then pause. Now you've started. Your voice is steady. But you look out and you see a crowd. And a crowd is an impersonal, scary thing. Trying to scan the entire room, letting your eyes dart from person to person, will just overwhelm you and make you look nervous. So don't. Here is the final tool. I want you to find a friendly face. In any audience, I promise you, there is always at least one. There is someone who is smiling, someone who is nodding, someone who is leaning forward and looks interested. Find that person. And for the next full sentence or two, I want you to speak only to them. Just have a simple one-on-one conversation with that person. Then, once you've completed your thought, I want you to look for another friendly face in a different part of the room, and you'll speak directly to them for a full sentence or two. What have you just done? You've stopped giving a scary speech to a crowd. Instead, you are having a series of small, comfortable one-on-one conversations with the allies you've already found in the room. This makes you feel more connected. It makes you feel more conversational. And it makes you feel safe. You're not talking to everyone. You're just talking to that one person. And now to that next person. It's calm, it's focused, and it is profoundly effective. This is your toolkit. The 4-7-8 breath, the power pose, the plant and pause, and finding your friendly face. You are now ready. You have the mindset, you have the plan, and you have the tools. Conclusion, your journey from anxiety to applause. We have come a long way in a short time. We started with that familiar, cold feeling of fear, that racing heart and shaky voice. And now we are ending with a plan. We've walked through a complete 3-part toolkit. We began with the most important part, your mindset. We threw out the impossible goal of perfection and replaced it with the much more powerful and human goal of connection. We learned that we are not nervous, we are excited, and that our audience is not our judge, they are our allies. Then we built your preparation plan. We left behind the fragile, dangerous method of memorization and built a rock-solid, anxiety-proof map, the 1-3-1 structure. You now know how to anchor your speech in one big idea, support it with 3 clear points, and conclude with power. You know that the goal of practice is not to be perfect, but to practice recovering. And finally, I gave you a practical, in-the-moment toolkit for when the nerves hit hard. You have the 4-7-8 breath to calm your biology, the power pose to command your confidence, the plant and pause to own your first impression, and the friendly face technique to turn a scary speech into a simple human conversation. But as we close, I want to leave you with the single most important lesson of this entire video. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Read that again. Confidence is not the absence of fear. I still feel that jolt of excited energy before every big speech. Every great speaker does. True confidence is not a magical personality trait that some people are just born with. It is not a special gift. Confidence is a skill. It is a system. It is the skill of managing your fear, of reframing it, of harnessing its energy, and of delivering your message despite it. You don't have to wait for the fear to go away. You just have to know what to do with it. And now you do. You have the system. You have the tools. You are no longer just hoping for the best. You are prepared. So here is your call to action. A system is useless if it just stays in your head. I want you to make it real. Sometime in the next 7 days, I want you to find one small, low-stakes opportunity to use your voice. It could be speaking up in a team meeting. It could be offering a toast at a family dinner. It could be volunteering to present a simple idea to a colleague. I don't want you to try everything at once. Just pick one tool from our toolkit today. Just one. Maybe you'll do the 4-7-8 breath before you unmute. Maybe you'll plant your feet before you answer a question. Maybe you'll just focus on finding one friendly face. Choose one small action and do it. That is how you build this skill. Not all at once, but one confident step at a time. This journey is a process, but you are no longer at the bottom of the mountain. You have your map. You have your gear. You have everything you need. That feeling in your stomach. You now know what it is. It's energy. That big idea in your mind. You now know how to structure it. You know how to stand. You know how to breathe. You know how to connect. You now have the tools to manage the anxiety and earn the applause. Go use them. Your voice is worth hearing.